A little learning in and of itself, as well as in anything, is always going to be dangerous, counterproductive, and negative and bad for anyone or anything in the world. If we are to achieve knowledge, then that has to be very powerful, authentic, based on experience, suffering, torment, research, and so on and so forth. Because we cannot attain absolute, permanent, unconditional knowledge, anyways, because knowledge in itself is an interdependency. Knowledge has got little sovereignty, independence, and differentiation, individuality of its own, because it comes from the mind, from the intellectual faculties, and from our other intrinsic and external abilities and powers as well. Knowledge is born, and knowledge is also dependent upon external circumstances, outside conditions, societal phenomena, politics, relationships, behaviors, failures, events for its development. So, knowledge is interdependent, interrelated, and some kind of interrelated, incorporated entity with ourselves. So it cannot be absolute, anyways. And no man's or no woman's knowledge in the world can ever be considered to be absolute, permanent, or unconditional, because knowledge in and of itself is conditional, interdependent, transient, and that needs to be improved, reformed, reinstated over time, over and over again, through the experience of new phenomena in one way or another. And if we do not reform, improve our knowledge with time, then that becomes invalid, worthless, insignificant, anyways, because no knowledge can ever be considered to be absolute. Because imagination is more important, powerful, and significant than knowledge. Imagination is limitless. When we are able to integrate our knowledge into imagination, when we're able to exercise the combination of both imagination and knowledge and fantasy and creativity into our lives, then that becomes and culminates into a creative force that creates greatness and that is invincible and that cannot be overcome. And that sort of knowledge, which is backed by imagination, fantasy, is powerful, invincible, anyways, in one way or another. But pure, limited, statistical, finite, relative kind of knowledge is interdependent, anyways, and it's not absolute, it's conditional. And a little learning is dangerous, because the educated differs from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. And that means the uneducated act like the dead beings. The uneducated people think, say, act, do, achieve like dead human beings, because they show absolute difference from the man and women of education. Because the educated mind is always going to be able to accept any ideas, entertain all thoughts, hostile ideas, sciences, without reaction, without incitement, anger, provocation, and also without holding on to those things and peoples and ideas. Because he's the educated mind, he listens to everything, he entertains everything, but he does not necessarily hold